a lot of stuff has happened with the Ely City Council recently, and they just awarded a very big grant from the government to lend to some security for governmental buildings and the parks. Mayor Nathan Robertson here to talk with us about it this morning. And this, first of all, it's nice to see that you were able to come up with a big grant for your security.
Yeah, we're always looking for ways to support our local law enforcement, and no matter how many people you have, patrolling 10,000 square miles of White Pine County definitely isn't the easiest project to do 24 hours a day. So talking with your sheriff, he said if we had some additional cameras around that would help with enforcement and they can go back and get footage for citations and things, he said would be helpful. So we approached our congressional delegation and they were able to get us an earmark for that.
There you go. Well, you know what they say, when seconds count, police are just minutes away. And that's not just here, that's anywhere.
Right.
It's not because they're not doing their job, it's they got too much to do, especially in White Pine County. We talked about that when they actually had a full police force. And now with the shortfalls,
well, luckily, talking
worse.
to Sheriff Henright, he says they're close. They're within a few months of being fully staffed again, which is great to hear.
Yes.
They were down to about, I want to say 6 deputies at one point there, and running a 24-hour shift in this county with 6 deputies is practically impossible.
No,
So
no.
We're glad to see people being recruited and the new faces showing up in the community. And,
There you go.
Having them fully staffed.
Think about doing what I do here with just one person,
There you go.
24/7. You know, it's the same thing. I can appreciate it more than most. But the grant was for a little over $600,000, and you had 2 bidders come in for it. Tell us what the grant's going to provide.
So what this grant is doing is putting some cameras that the sheriff's office can use that are in some of the public spaces like parks, near schools. If you have a Ring camera in this community, you may have had the sheriff's deputies knocking on your door just looking for footage if they're looking for someone who may have come through the community or come through your neighborhood rather. And so this kind of sparked that idea of, hey, if we get some good quality cameras that they can use, they've got license plate reader technology, but they're going to be in our public areas so that if there's an issue of vandalism or they're looking for someone who was in the area, this is going to help them do their investigations a little bit better.
I know vandalism has been an ugly, ugly problem we've seen in the last few years, and anything to help keep the youngsters on a little tighter leash never hurts. So you got a company that's, and I listened in, it sounds like a company that knows what they're doing, and they'll be able to get in here. How soon will this project get underway?
That's a fair question that I don't know the answer to, but I'm hoping within the year they're going to start the design work, and hopefully, there's always an issue of getting some of that equipment, especially with global supply chains at the moment. So it might be a little longer getting stuff installed, and they have to lay some groundwork, getting some electrical to areas they need and things like that.
But they'll get started with figuring everything out fairly soon.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the good part. You also got a grant to help with the 7th Street drainage. Tell us exactly who is going to be impacted by this. And I know that we have some parts of Ely where drainage is just suck.
Well, and Central Ely is one of those areas.
Yes.
It's kind of in the lowest spot of town, and water runs downhill. Is the one thing we know it does.
Yes, water does not break the law of gravity. It does not.
And with our railroad, which kind of skirts the north end of town there, it kind of acts like a dam, so it'll funnel water into certain drainages.
Yes.
Just by the nature of geography, and this is one of those areas where it comes under the track. And it's just kind of been an open culvert. But when we have some of these gully washers, it really drains all those foothills there on Murray Point, formerly Squaw Peak, that come down. It would come right to that drainage and end up causing quite a bit of damage to the neighborhoods just downstream of that.
No doubt. That's an issue we need to get resolved, and that hopefully this grant will take care of that.
Yeah, the idea is that it'll funnel that water into the storm drain rather than just going willy-nilly in people's driveways and across their yards and things. So that's hopefully going to make a big difference for those neighborhoods
That's something
down there.
that we really look forward to. And that's something that is it still in design stage, or is that going to be?
The design stage will need to start. Once it got awarded, they'll start doing the design work, and then we can probably let it out for construction next spring.
Knock wood. Get all of that
Yep.
done before we get another gully washer. This weekend had to be a point of pride to you. It is no secret that you have an involvement with Rec Brothers. And
Yeah.
it has to be a point of pride to you this weekend to see everybody very proud about the Lund Miners Park and about the Jack Kaler Park, which is something that started when I came to town.
Yeah.
That was a 2009, 2010 project, and John Hickman was one of the people that pushed that initially.
Yeah.
God rest John. But it is nice to see the park finally come to be what probably he would be very proud of. I mean, I'm pretty sure that Police Chief Kaler would be very proud of it.
Oh, no doubt. And like I said at our dedication, we definitely stand on the shoulders of a lot of people like Mary Sorensen up in Ruth.
Yes.
Who put a lot of work into championing that thing. And here locally, John Hickman, former Mayor Melody Van Camp, current councilwoman.
No, she doesn't count.
but
She's not paying attention, you know.
Having a lot of people, it takes a village to get something like this across. It can't just be one person's goal, and there's certainly been a lot of people involved in making these things happen, and having a local contractor like Rec Brothers, who I've been privileged to work for probably going on 12, 15 years now. I never have to make excuses for the work, and I'm always proud to be associated with those projects.
It has to be difficult coming in behind somebody who did half a job and then coming up and trying to clean up the mess and doing it right.
It does add a layer of complexity to a project, because otherwise you just have a clean slate, you go do your thing, you'd leave, and there's not always the best handoff. You don't always know what they did or didn't do, so sometimes there's some forensic work that needs to go in. It just adds complexity to a project that's always complex, but nothing impossible to do.
It is good to see that we actually have serious efforts being made to make improvements, not just cosmetic improvements, but in real infrastructure improvements. And that's, the 7th Street project and the camera project are true infrastructure things for security and the betterment of the community. And that's the most important thing.
Well, and to add to that, we've got design work starting on our Campton Street project, which is going to improve pedestrian safety on Campton Street with more lighting and sidewalk. Trying to think of some of the other things we have going on, but certainly the big NDOT project downtown is going to really improve our local infrastructure. Some of it's 120 years old.
I know.
Or more. So, yeah, we're glad to see all that work
We
happening.
always talk about the big, the wooden sewers under there. That's the fun part.
Pipes.
Mayor Nathan Robertson with us today. We thank you for spending your time. Unlike some people in government, they duck wanting to talk to the media, and we're glad that you're willing to be with us here each and every time we come around here.
Well, thanks for the invite.
All righty. We will have CBS News coming up at the top of the hour. Cammie McCormick will have the headlines dealing with, of course, inflation and all of that. Bill O'Reilly is up next. Todd Starnes at 9:05, and we are back tomorrow morning here at 8:05. Have a great day.